That's it.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
I don't know how many people are here right now.
We won't know until slowly they'll probably start showing up. You want to make it see that?
It's okay.
Yeah. So we'll wait. We'll say hello.
No,
to...
we can start a conversation. Anyway, it's going to go recorded.
Yeah.
So, we are here right now today. I'm going to be discussing fear. The topic is fear, and we are here of no. I mean, we have no obligation out here, or we are not going to be affected or benefiting from this talk in any ways. It's just that
we
we are
can
putting up
share
this
some thoughts.
conversation, our
Yeah.
thoughts on the camera for
Yeah.
the people that we love, our dear ones, and our soul family.
Yeah. So let's say hi to everyone.
So,
Aniket.
hi, everybody.
And come on. So we are live now. So if you see it on your notifications, you have to press and come in also. So tell me. So what is it about fear that gets everyone really troubled and hustled? Let's give a kind of a major definition to begin with.
Yeah, what we think fear is.
Yeah, fear is a human emotion which gets triggered by potential threats. So actually, Raj, it's a human mechanism that is there in every human. Every human being on this planet.
It's intrinsic.
It's intrinsic. It's part of you. Fear is one of. Like if we break up that sentence, it's a human emotion. So that means it's universal. It's there in everyone. Any human being has two choices when they are faced with a fearful situation. Either they fight it or they take flight from it. These are the two choices that fear gives you. And different situations will make you take different consequences. So I think these are the two main things that either you can fight your fear or you can take flight from it.
And I feel that, in my opinion, there are two kind of fears, basically. One is, number one, which we discussed earlier, was it's like a happening that we cannot, we are always in fear of that something's going to happen. Like, for example, death. And we can't do anything about it. The other one is a fear that we have to act upon, which is something somewhere in the future. It all depends on the past of that. It's always in the future, and we are always contemplating on it. How will I act for this? How will I go for this show? How will I go for this party? How will I propose that person? How will that relationship will be, the new relationship, how that new job is going to be.
So these are all different kinds of fears we all have as human beings.
Yeah, or sometimes it is like my relationship is very sour on the past, and the fear of divorce,
Yeah,
fear of
absolutely.
loss.
Yes.
So the first fear, which is happening, is not in our control. Definitely. It's something like, if you keep fearing that I'm going to meet a road accident just because I'm on the highway, it is not predicted or anything.
Yeah.
But we always fear that.
Yeah.
It is something that is out of control. The
So
second
that
one
means-
is what we have to act upon.
Yes, we have to act upon.
We have to act
So
upon.
then we can say, in a nutshell, fear is something every human being has.
Yes.
Yeah. But what happens is the people, fear comes in and out. But people who live in fear for a long period of time, in all different circumstances of life, start fearing everything. Those are the people that become incapacitated. They are-
Maybe anxious and anxiety comes out of it.
Completely. If someone is in fear, what are your physical reactions that happens? Let's take a silly example. There's a lizard in front of me. As a woman or as a man, you get really scared of the lizard. What would be your physical reactions that would happen? One, you can get an increased, we can change the lizard into a tiger or whatever. I don't think the size really matters. If you're scared of something, you're scared. So, hi, there's somebody online.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, any questions you need to ask, you can type it in the comments, and we'd be very happy to reply. Yeah. So see, they're like. So live. So anybody So anybody has a question, do write in the comments, and we'll in the middle we'll try to work it out. So these physical reactions that we have of a particular physical threat could be something like you get an increased heart rate. Yeah, you can start sweating. What would be?
I'm sweating because it's very hot out.
Yeah, it's really warm there.
Really
Yes,
hot
it
out.
really,
I'm
really
not
bad.
anxious at all.
No, neither am I. Maybe we are fearing the fact that we have to have this talk.
No fear. They're
No
all
fear
happy.
at all. No fear. So these are the physical reactions that can happen. Yeah. So now, if these reactions happen, what do we as human beings need to do to overcome these fears? It's one thing saying that we have fear of a relationship or rejection, but what does one do to overcome these fears? Any thoughts on that?
See, what I feel is that we promote these fears within ourselves. Like, for example, actually, what you just said was fear is something intrinsic. It is actually to protect us. If something, a piano is falling on my head, I'm just going to be fearful and move out. That's like a reflex, inbuilt reflex in us. If I'm going to touch something hot,
Yeah.
I'm going to move my hand like this.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is, when does it become anxiety? It becomes anxiety when all the time I'm thinking about it, that it is hot. So, if this
So the
heat,
fear factor of
So if there's
something, it's an impending fear,
Yes.
but it's not actually happening, and yet we are fearful of it.
So, for example, this table is hot.
Let me have a sip of my
yeah.
coffee.
If this table is hot
Yeah.
and I touch it and move it,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But if it is not hot and the event is not there, but my hand keeps going like this all the time, that is not natural. Which means the fear is out of control. So we have to control that part.
So
Our
what are-
reflexes.
So let's think of and tell everyone what are the different kinds of fear that one can have.
Majorly two kinds of fears are there. One comes under happening and one comes under the
No,
event.
but what kinds things like I'll have a fear of losing a loved one. I might
So losing somebody is again in the future, right?
Yes.
It has not happened yet.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's-
but I can still have the fear. So how do I overcome that fear?
So it's you have to fight yourself. Basically.
Yeah.
It's all
So
in your
that's-
mind.
so that's-
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Right?
As well as I've noticed that people that who are really fearful, they have a lot of anger. For some strange reason, fear
Yes.
and anger seem to be connected. Anybody who's fearful will come on as a very strong control freak and have a lot of anger. I wonder what the connection between the two things are, fear and anger. Because the person who's being controlling, supposing I have someone who's controlling me.
Like
yeah?
a father or
a father or a
husband or a
husband
lover,
or
yeah.
a lover or
Yeah.
a son or a daughter or whatever. If they try to control me, the way they can control is by being loud, by showing anger. Yeah? But the truth is, the person who's actually controlling you and showing you the anger is actually a very fearful human being himself or herself.
yes, fear promotes another fear.
Yeah.
Because he has the fear of losing you or fear of losing control. He wants probably be in the power. So he's making you fearful.
Yeah.
And you are fearful because probably that relationship means a lot to you and you can't deal with it. It was like a casual relationship. You could have just taken a decision and not see the person anymore. But that relationship probably means a lot to you. But sometimes you go into these negative situations where you are being just used and used and used and used. Now that can
That if there have been certain fears in my life, which is common to everybody,
Yeah.
every human being has different kinds of fears.
nobody's born without fears actually.
Nobody.
It's intrinsic.
That's the amazing part, that this fear is actually a safety mechanism
Yes.
that we have been inbuilt with. It's a mechanism every human being's been built with. It's a safety mechanism such that when there's a threat that comes to you, there are certain hormones and things that kick out, and you're able to take that decision of taking fight or flight.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a mechanism, but like we said, if it's spread over a long period of time, that's when it incapacitates a human
But
being.
in some relationships are so close that fight and flight doesn't come up. You can't fight because you're in a relationship. You can't fight because you're in a relationship. So you get suffocated and you become more fearful. Now over there, what comes is you have
Then
to
what?
act.
Then yes, absolutely.
Shield yourself.
Yeah, one out of the two
Self-respect,
people.
don't be a doormat.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Take your stand.
let's take something like marriage. Okay, if there is somebody who is fearful of one of the partners, fearful of the other. Yeah. Supposing the husband's fearful of the wife, or say, let's say the wife is, as a
It's
woman.
where the husband is fearful of the wife, unless he's having something
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah, well, this becomes the man-woman thing, but anyway. So supposing the woman is very fearful of the husband because he's the provider, blah, 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 whatever reason. Now to take action and get over this fear factor, what does the woman have to do?
She can't do much because the relationship is very pure to her. I mean, it is a very important relationship between a husband and a wife.
Yeah, but is it better to live your entire life in that fear and live a what kind of life would that be? A very subject life where you're always scared. Is that worth? Is that even a life?
No, it is your life. You are responsible for your own life. You have made that
Yeah.
life. You have chosen that life, basically.
Correct.
The first day that you let somebody damage you,
Yeah.
that day if you hadn't acted, you become
Yeah.
more damaged.
Yeah.
You have to take it out of yourself.
Correct.
Again,
So-
you have to act it out.
Correct. So what we are saying is that one has to take action
Yes.
when one gets into a fearful situation over a long period of time. It is very important for a human being to pull themselves out from it by taking some kind of action. And what can that action be? Let's say if it's in a marriage, then the person has to say, what's my final consequence? I want to get out of this fear. What's the worst that can happen in this marriage? The worst that can happen will be divorce. Now, even if that divorce is not happening, by keeping that as your goal, that can happen, you have to slowly start taking steps, one by one, such that you start pulling yourself out of this feeling. And it's a very strange situation that occurs. The more you pull yourself out of it, funny enough, those marriages start actually coming together.
Yes, that is possible.
You understand what I
Because
mean?
you're standing up for yourself. You're gaining your spine back, actually.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you'll totally crash. So ultimately, it goes back to the other one where I was saying that you have to act it out. So if you are fearful about money or
Yeah,
fearful about
all of it.
losing a house,
Yeah.
or fearful about, which is again in the future, you have to act today.
Yeah.
So in all situations,
And there is no tomorrow.
and there is
so
no
you
tomorrow,
have to
you
act
have to act today.
in the moment. Yeah.
You have to assess it and
Yeah.
act it out today.
Absolutely.
How your further future is going to be,
Yeah.
how your fear is going to be,
Yeah.
and the best way to do is, I mean, if somebody has a stage fright, for example,
Yeah.
and or
I did. I
you
did
had a
at
stage
one,
fright.
At one point, I used to be really confident on stage, and then there came a point where I just didn't even know whether I could stand on a stage. So what did I do? I
Act
give
it
my
out.
no, I gave my example. I went in for an audition. I say, what's the worst? There'll be somebody who will make fun of me.
Absolutely.
It's something. So big deal. Let me take it step by step and see what it's going to bring. So I went for an audition. I picked up the guts, and the strange thing is I got the role in the play. And then I said, wow. How simple was that? So all the years of stage fright took a complete turn in literally 5 minutes by giving an audition. So if we were to take these kind of steps for all different things in life, test yourself, put yourself out there, take that first baby step, move
Yes,
ahead.
that first baby step is very important.
Yeah, because Raj,